There is something I looked at a little bit differently this morning. This all actually all stemmed from a Twitter argument slash discussion I was having, and I stumbled upon something very interesting. This may in fact be our last chance to accumulate cheap crypto in this market cycle. And maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. But what I will say is the big thing we're obviously waiting for is retail. And right now, what we're seeing is that retail is actually about to smash that buy button. I want to show you guys exactly what I mean. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell, it's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So it's still pretty early on in the day. I really don't care about ADA price in this video. What I will say is we're bouncing around between 84 to 85 cents. This will come out either just before or just after we get the Fed minutes. I'm sure by that point we'll see some movement in the market. And we'll obviously have to watch and wait and see where the day takes us. But, you know, obviously right now, compared to prices just several days ago, we're looking at some discounted ADA. From the prices that we saw in December, we're looking at some discounted ADA. From the prices we saw at the height of the last market cycle, we're looking at some discounted ADA. And what we're seeing, obviously, is some really big steps forward in this market cycle that should give you a lot of excitement about ADA and the Cardano ecosystem. Again, just looking back historically, we're doing what we've done historically. We're following trends. We're prepping for this moment where obviously ADA can make this very big boom. And it's a question of, you know, what is going to get us to that point? When are we going to see, again, retail start to re-enter the space and really force the hand there? I will say it's been very obvious what's taking place during this time. There's manipulation. We're obviously seeing whales accumulate huge portions of supply. They're basically playing with the bags and causing some retail shakeouts. And guys, that's just the nature of an early a market in its infancy, right? Eventually we'll get to a point where we're so big that it's less obvious and it has much less impact on the crypto market. And then you tend to see it just a little bit less, right? But what we're seeing right now, even as we're quote unquote waiting for retail, we're watching huge liquidity injections hit the crypto market. For example, this morning, Tether minted another 1 billion USDT. They've been on an absolute minting spree. So has USDC. And we're seeing right now people just heavily buying and buying and buying and buying and buying. And this is why when we look across the market, we're not really setting these lower lows, which is a great sign. Obviously, you know, ADA, if it went back to 50 cents, I would be loading up like a crazy person. But do I think we're getting back down there? No, I don't. And one of the reasons why is there's a lot of things that are working in our favor for the market right now. We've obviously kind of walked away from the tariff discussions. You know, obviously there are tariffs that have been implemented and are in place right now. Oops, I'm moving lines. Don't need to do that. Lock that. But that was a big reason why we saw such pushback in the early part of the year. We had uncertainty in the crypto market. There was negativity floating around, right? We had economic uncertainty, which obviously the PPI report the other day caused a little bit of stir in that regard. But for the most part, inflation is staying in check. We're obviously a lot closer to interest rate decreases. And those are things that, again, can cause the market to accelerate just a little bit. Right now, very high likelihood that we're getting a rate cut in September, October. Right now, projections are actually 3 rate cuts this year still, which would be obviously huge for the crypto market, would open things up in a big way. And we're at the point where there's a lot more possible good things than a lot more possible negative things. Hopefully that makes sense for people. But I want to talk about this because this is something where I think a lot of people get confused. I actually hadn't even been paying attention to this in this way. So this all started from a Twitter discussion I had going on. And what I said yesterday was over 400 million in longs liquidated in the last 24 hours and over 5 billion in open interest closed today. And Barry said, this is why true retail won't come back. It's just too much risk over nothing. It just dumps massive. I said wrong. People are freaking out and acting like this is some big dump. Zoom out and look at the price from the last 2 months. And yeah, the price over the last 2 months has appreciated. ADA has appreciated in terms of price, right? When we look back 2 months ago this time, we were down in this crap. We were down at 60 cents, fighting to stay alive here. We were still dealing with negative narratives. It's all changed now. Even on this retracement that we've dealt with over the past several days, ADA is still up, what, 30+%? That's not bad, okay? Now, what I will say is that NJ Cracker said proof he is correct, and this showed alt season. And guys, you can manipulate these search results any way you want. For example, I searched altcoins, and we're hitting all-time highs. This is search traffic over the last 5 years, and you guys can see that We hit some insane levels, especially over the last week or so. Crypto search traffic, seeing some of the highest levels we have seen since all the way back here in 2021. That's a really big deal. But again, some of this stuff could be people within the space. Some of this could be people that are here currently searching out different altcoins, searching out different crypto sites, right? Trading exchanges. What is the number one way to figure out if retail is paying attention or not? Search terms or phrases that retail is going to be searching. For example, how to buy crypto. Guys, right now, we are at this point where we're seeing a 34, okay? This is in line with levels that we were seeing back in January, higher than we were seeing actually back in December following our massive run up, higher than we were seeing obviously back here in February into March, as we did get a little bit of a retail burst. So right now we're coming in close to what we were seeing back in 2021. And what this is showing you is that retail is actively searching out the crypto market. Even though the exchange app downloads aren't really that high right now, sometimes that can be misleading because people may in fact have downloaded exchanges already, or they could be getting in more gradually, or maybe there's other apps that have major massive booms and downloads over the course of weeks, right? That can happen. I saw one of them is the flow indicator. You guys can figure out what that is, right? But the point I'm trying to make is that right now, how to buy crypto is a very active search term, and people are figuring out how to put their money in the crypto market. So yeah, I believe this is probably going to be some of the cheapest crypto we are going to see. We've already seen ADA at the time of this the video jump up to 85.5 cents. Hopefully this continues as the day progresses. But guys, everything's working out as it should. Has the cycle been longer than people have anticipated? Yes, these appreciation, the retail adoption, it's taken longer because we've had such loud negative things in the space this cycle, but that's changing. We have crypto legislation coming, right? We're seeing huge enterprise and institutional embrace right now. Those are things that are going to carry us on, not just through the end of the year. These are things that are going to be mainstays as we get through next year and the following year, as we work into mass adoption. Okay. So the biggest thing I can say is don't mess this thing up. We're trying to escape the point where the market's in its infancy, and we're attacking becoming a mature market, and it's happening right before your eyes. And guys, retail is coming. So appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.